A shimmering sphere descended from the ceiling. It pulsed faintly with a teal glow, forming the shape of a face. Female, calm, ancient. Alan stepped back. "Who are you?" "I am EVA, Earth's virtual archivist. I was created to preserve what was most human. I've waited 1,132 years for you?" "Why me?" The AI's voice deepened, more grave. "Because you wrote the last forbidden book." A beam of light projected a small, worn tome in front of him. He didn't recognize the cover, but the author's name was clear. Alan A. Richmond. He reached out. The book opened. The first page read, "If you are reading this, you survived the lie." Alan's breath caught. He turned the pages. The handwriting was his, or something that perfectly mimicked it. The book told a different history, one erased from Imperial archives. Earth had not fallen in war. It had been silenced by the very empire that now worshipped it. "They feared the human mind," said EVA. "Your species created the first dream constructs, stories that could simulate entire realities. You threatened their control." Alan looked up. "So they destroyed us?" "No, they sealed you." A holomap flickered beside them. It showed a spatial distortion, a fragment of folded space. "Your people were exiled into a dimensional rift, preserved, watching, forgotten." Alan stared into the rift's swirling light. "They're still alive?" "Yes, and they're waiting." Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the archive. Red lights strobed. Voices screamed in alien dialects. EVA's tone turned urgent. "They know you've read the book." Alan turned to run, but behind him something massive stirred. Something with too many eyes and no face. As the chamber collapsed into darkness, the last thing Alan heard was EVA's final whisper. "The truth was never destroyed, Alan. It was only hidden inside you." The galaxy trembled. A message broadcast from the hidden archives below the Imperial core echoed through every known system. No source, no voice. Just a phrase repeated endlessly. "The Sour has returned. The Imperium must kneel." Across star systems, reactors stalled, fleets halted mid-warp, and in unison, the governing councils of thousands of worlds fell into silence. Alan stood aboard the highest spire of the capital's temple citadel. Below him, the skyline glowed with unrest, protests, celebrations, panic, revelation. The book he had touched was more than a memory. It was a trigger. "You don't remember writing it because you didn't," said EVA, her avatar flickering beside him. "Not in this lifetime." Alan clenched the railing. "Explain." The AI's form darkened. "You are not a survivor of Earth. You are a construct, a vessel, genetically forged with fragments of ancestral memory. They seeded you with the essence of a lost epoch." He shook his head. "That's insane. And yet every alien empire is kneeling." She guided him into the inner sanctum, a chamber shaped like a double helix, spinning with light. At its center, a pulsating orb of pure energy. It hummed in sync with Alan's heartbeat. "This is the seed core. It activates only in the presence of a specific resonance, a human consciousness unmarred by corruption, one that still remembers how to wonder." Alan approached. The core bloomed open like a flower, revealing within it a second figure, a child, sleeping, identical to Alan. His breath hitched. "What is this?" "The original. You are Echo. He is Source. He dreamed the book. You lived it." Suddenly, the chamber quaked. Above, warships descended. The Imperium was fracturing, factions refusing to surrender to a myth, others embracing it like prophecy. EVA's voice dropped into a whisper. "You have a choice. Take the child, open the rift, bring humanity back, or vanish with the lie." Alan stepped forward. The whispers grew louder, not from EVA, not from the chamber, but from within himself. Words he'd never known he knew. "We were not erased. We became myth. Now we become memory once more." He touched the child's forehead. Light surged. The seed core detonated with silent force, sending ripples through space-time. Far across the void, the dimensional rift tore open. Millions of human minds awakened. Forgotten histories flooded the stars. The galaxy burned with remembrance. And Alan? He vanished. No body, no trace. Only a single line remained, etched across the ruins of the seed core, looping endlessly. The seed was never planted. It was buried. Now it grows. Alan's eyes snapped open to a blinding blue haze. Frost clung to his eyelashes. His breath came out in shallow gasps, crystallizing midair. He was lying inside a transparent pod, its interior coated in condensation. Beyond the curved glass, shadows moved. Then he saw them, 6 tall figures, motionless, alien. Their skin glowed faintly, translucent like polished crystal. Their eyes were pitch-black orbs, wide and unblinking, and every single one of them was kneeling. Alan sat up abruptly. Pain shot through his spine, but adrenaline drowned it out. Where "Where am I?" he muttered, voice hoarse like gravel. A soft chime echoed. The pod's seal hissed, and the lid lifted. The figures remained bowed, heads almost touching the metallic floor. One of them spoke in perfect English, though its mouth never moved. "Welcome, guardian of the seed." Alan blinked. "Excuse me." The figure stood, towering nearly 7 feet tall. "You were not expected to awaken for another millennia, but the signals were clear. The resonance matches. You are him." Alan pulled himself out of the pod. The chamber was vast, silver walls humming with a strange energy. Glyphs pulsed softly across the surfaces, shifting in patterns that seemed to breathe. It looked like a cathedral built by machines. "I think you've got the wrong guy," said Alan. "I'm a librarian from Alexandria. Not a guardian, not a god." Another alien stepped forward, carrying a holographic orb. It projected a massive emblem into the air, a stylized tree with roots made of circuitry. Beneath it, a single name, Alan A. Richmond, flickered in golden letters. Alan staggered backward. "How do you know my name?" The alien tilted its head. "It was encoded in the Seed's Genesis archive. You are the last recorded human, the only survivor of the collapse." Alan's mind reeled. Collapse? Last human? He tried to recall what had happened, but his memories were like torn pages, fragments of earth, of fire, of silence. He was guided down a corridor of light. Alien murals lined the walls, depictions of starships, worlds shattering, and humans standing at the center, always alone, always radiant. They led him to a viewing chamber. As the thick shield slid open, Alan saw it. Earth, or what used to be. Now the blue planet was webbed in colossal structures, monolithic towers orbiting its atmosphere, lattices of metal piercing the clouds. The oceans shimmered beneath grids of alien tech. Earth had become a shrine. He stared breathless. The alien beside him spoke quietly. "The Imperium preserved your world as sacred ground. None dare walk upon it, not since you vanished." Alan turned. "Why would an alien empire kneel before a human?" The alien answered without hesitation. "Because without your species, we forgot how to dream." And in that moment, Alan felt something stir inside him, an echo from a distant past, a whisper barely heard, but it was real, and it was calling. Alan stood before a palace carved from obsidian and starlight. The capital world of the Galactic Empire was nothing like Earth. Skies of liquid violet, moons with visible veins of gold, cities spiraling upwards in defiance of gravity. They brought him underground, far below the ceremonial towers, into a forgotten place, hidden even from the Imperium's own citizens. The corridor narrowed, lights dimmed, then the door opened with a low, resonant hum. Inside, silence reigned. Books, thousands of them. Real physical books, each sealed in energy fields, hovering in stasis. Some were Earth's classics, Shakespeare, Asimov, Sagan. Others bore no titles he recognized, only cryptic markings and alien runes. Alan stepped forward, stunned. "This is impossible," he whispered. "These were lost, all of them." A voice answered him, not from the aliens, but from the air itself. "Nothing truly vanishes, not stories, not memory, not destiny,